Okay, the stop clock has started on the Winnipeg Jets. A fascinating mixture of, there's so much skill here. There's so much talent here. But there is a lot of question marks, and you have to think that the Jets are looking to grow from within because this is the team that steamrolled Edmonton in the playoffs last year. Right? But now listen. Was it a mirage? Was it terrible NHL officiating? Who's to say? But this is still the team, in my opinion, that has the best goaltender in the league.
Connor Hellebuck, man. I was about to talk about how, because one thing Jets fans are excited about is their defense this year. It's better. And
certainly better.
And I was going to say, and it needed to improve because last year they were ninth in goals against. What? They were a top 10 team.
Yeah, with Josh Morrissey and his merry men.
Yeah, Connor Hellebuck, man. Connor Hellebuck is a miracle worker, but now he doesn't have to do all the work.
Yeah.
What did we know about the Jets? They were going to score a shit ton of goals. They probably weren't going to be very good defensively, but they got a goalie.
Isn't that the NHL?
Yeah, but now I think it's so few teams have three. If you have two, you're usually doing fine. They had two. This year, I think there's an argument they got three.
Do you have faith in Eric Comrie?
Okay.
Because that's their projected backup right now, and I look at it as a one-man show. I say you have the best goalie in the league, and you're trotting him out there for 60-plus games.
Who's the other guy?
The very obvious storyline is if Connor Hellebuck gets hurt, you're boned.
Yeah. You're
boned, but he's been pretty durable. Some goalies need a lot of maintenance, and we've seen that with lots of guys. Vasilevsky hasn't had much problem with it, and Hellebuck hasn't had much problem with it. So I have faith, but yes. If he gets hurt,
because last year when Laurent Brossoit was there, Brossoit was there, it felt like when Hellebuck needs a break, you have Brossoit. But I don't know how much faith I have in their backup goalie. But I think, like how we started this conversation, he's the best goalie in the league, probably second best behind Vasilevsky.
There's also goalies. There's goalies. So there are. You don't want to be in that position, but if you need one, you can get one.
And I'm sure you could get Carter Hutton if you needed him.
Yeah, you go fishing for a Carter Hutton.
Hey, would you like a 20th draft pick this year, Arizona?
And the defense is always the problem, like you said. And then they bring in Nate Schmidt. I think that shores up your depth there.
I really like that they got a little of both. They got Nate Schmidt, and you know what he brings, and Brendan Dillon. You know what he brings.
What does he bring? Tell me what he brings.
Well, you're going to be watching.
That's why people are paying attention to this, by the way, is they want to know what each brings.
So Nate Schmidt skates real pretty, and you're going to watch him go up the ice with the puck and go, wow, he skates real pretty. And then while you're distracted watching him skate real pretty, Brendan Dillon's going to come and smash your friggin' head in.
Yeah.
He is a nasty, nasty player.
Seems like the kind of player that Winnipeg fans are going to love.
Oh yeah,
that's a Winnipeg guy.
I'm good friends with a few Jets fans, and they were like, "Oh, okay,
They're
we
into
get to have fun now."
Jesse Pollock, yeah.
Listen, he needs to not work for Bell, and then I'll like him. But until then, I can't.
You don't like us Bell people, huh?
No. Who's us? Jesse left. He's better now.
I look at the losses on the team. Like Mason Appleton's gone, Matthew Perreault's gone, Brossoit, Tucker Poolman, and then you lose Brian Little to the LTIR. He's probably not going to play again. Like that's a lot you're removing from the roster, but then you're gonna get an improved season from PLD. Like
that couldn't go worse.
It couldn't go worse. So you get an improvement right there, and then you brought in Riley Nash as well, who's gonna be an effective player. And offense was never your problem.
If you use him for more than 2 games,
right? If you play it,
Leaf fans have a strained relationship there.
You lose those the 5 pieces I named that are significant to what the Jets were last year, but you offense was never your problem, and you brought in a couple pieces that'll supplement your offense. Plus, you have PLD, who's gonna have a good season.
Well, okay. So those are where my questions lie. Pierre-Luc Dubois for me has really got to prove it.
Oh yeah,
like. Okay.
And I think he's up to the task.
I do too, but how many chances do you get?
Well, okay, so let me ask you guys, what do you think, what leads you to believe that this guy is up to the task?
I saw him bully my team in the playoffs.
Right.
Like, he was a nightmare against the Leafs, and he was really good that season. And I think it was one of those situations where his season last year never began, which was a shame for him, and it was a shame for the Jets. He sort of took his ball and went home with the Blue Jackets, refuses to tell that story, and whatever, that's his prerogative, has to quarantine, and that killed a lot of guys.
It did.
It killed a lot of guys, and interestingly enough, a lot of guys who did it ended up getting injured, right? Because you're sitting at home doing, God knows what, probably sitting, which is not great for a pro athlete. Foligno gets hurt heading into the playoffs for the Leafs. Dubois gets hurt shortly after he joins the Jets. It wasn't good for a lot of players going from American teams to Canadian teams specifically, but he has the raw talent and he plays like a jerk.
And I don't think hockey players say things by accident. And PLD's done a couple preseason interviews where he's talked about what a mess last season was, and he said exactly that, Steve. He said it never got started. And this is a guy, when he's speaking, he talks about how much training he does and how important working on the skills of the game is to him. And he never got a chance to settle in. And it sounds like this offseason he's really dedicated to improving his game in every single way and having a spectacular 82-game season. Okay. And I believe that he's going to do that.
Okay, so count me among the skeptics. I think Pierre-Luc Dubois tops out. I know they're going to give him a better shot at this, and I could be completely wrong with this, and I'm fine with that. I think he's a third-line center. And I think
he can be Nazem Kadri plus.
I'm not sure that I see it. Now, I could see the points, right? I'm like on a Columbus Blue Jackets team that was defense first all the way. A couple of years ago, the guy had 61 points, 27 goals. But the reality is somebody on that Columbus Blue Jackets team had to score. Here's my big issue with Pierre-Luc Dubois. Not only did you take a skate, you took a skate
that
on that last.
Horrendous.
It's a horrendous look, right? Yeah. When you do a skate like that, you better be prepared to, no matter what, play your balls off. Okay. On top of that, this guy can't win a faceoff. His career average in faceoff percentage, guys, is 43.
Holy cow! Really?
When he played with Winnipeg last year, 41.43. The highest he's ever achieved is 1920, 44%. Wow. Except for the 5 games he played in Columbus last year, where he was a 54, but that doesn't count. And that's not a season. That's 5 games.
You know what's funny about that, and you just reminded me of this. Pierre-Luc Dubois was a controversial pick.
He was.
He wasn't a center.
Oh, yeah.
He was a winger. Yeah. Okay. He was a winger who they converted to center, and they're like, oh, okay, he's good. And then he went top 5.
And Adam, you say he tops out as a third-line center, in your opinion.
If he continues down this track, he will be a third-line center.
They'll start him on the second line.
They will.
Despite your
because Adam Lowry is clearly their third-line center.
Despite your advice, I think Paul Maurice is going to start him on the second line.
Oh, yeah,
and,
Paul Maurice will.
And on his right side is going to be Nikolai Ehlers. Mm-hmm. On his left side is going to be Paul Stastny.
Or Andrew Copp, depending upon what you look at.
Sure.
But still good.
I would probably stick Stastny up on the second line, but that's just me. I think he's going to be protected enough where if there are flaws and if he needs a little help to get his game going, he has 2 guys on his wings that'll help him get him there.
You can also go Scheifele, PLD, Stastny, or
maybe he's better as a winger. I don't know. Right, maybe, like a sometimes center. I don't know.
Yeah, right. It's they're going to score. It's not going to be a problem. You know who feels like an acquisition but isn't? Dylan DeMello.
Yeah, he's there.
They should have lost him.
Should have lost. By the way, this right side looks pretty good. Like the Winnipeg's always known for the right side of their D. They've rebuilt it. Schmidt, Pionk, DeMello, not bad. Yeah. And I want to say this about Nate Schmidt because you guys were talking about him. Nate Schmidt better have a banger year.
Oh yeah.
This is his 3rd team in 3 years. There's a reason Vegas let him go, and there's absolutely a reason Vancouver let him go. Now, Vegas was a little bit more, hey, we want Alex Pietrangelo, and you make $5.9 million. But Nate Schmidt didn't just play a little under his salary last year. He played a lot under his salary.
The Canucks were brutal, and we've talked a lot in these videos about fit. He was a horrible fit.
Terrible.
Is
that his fault? We'll see.
No, I think he's a good fit for the Jets.
Okay, so where do you have him finishing? Jesse Blake.
Let me scroll up to my
You better scroll up. You better hurry. I can't believe you're not prepared.
3rd place in the Central.
I also have 3rd place.
I have Central. 4th place. Very, very interesting. Well, gentlemen.
Excited to see what Evgeny Svechnikov does, too. I like him.
And that's 10 minutes.